So this is not your typical American knife, but this is your typical African knife. Now, some of you guys are used to looking at our website and seeing the awesome knives that some of these guys are putting out, especially guild member guys. But for the majority of Africa, it's very primitive. And that's what Steve Katz is really going for here. Steve is actually, he was a ranger at the Kruger National Park, Serengeti Park, 5 different national parks in Africa where they would go in and they would stop poachers. Currently, he lives in Florida, and we're actually going to see him at the Safari Club International. So we'll get all the details of his adventures and going catching poachers sometime in February. So that's what we're looking for right there. But he's actually taken on making a traditional African knife. Now you'll see it's got the traditional carvings. This is just one of the knives that we've had for him. But the steel, not much to think of. This is sometimes they'll use car springs. Now sometimes Steve will use some of the high-end steels and stuff just to make it so that it's usable. But a lot of times the traditional African knives will just be made out of any metals that they can find. And so what Steve has done is really, when he does his travels, he traveled all over Africa, and he would see how the Maasai built their spears. And so he would sit down with them, he'd watch them, and he watched the way that they would do that. And that's where he kind of get this right here, you know, more of a traditional spear. Or even something like this that has, you know, silver inlay, or it might have something carved on the end of it. He's really great at making a more traditional African spear or a more traditional African knife. We're looking forward to seeing Steve at the Safari Club International show, and I know you will be too. Stop by our booth and you can visit with him and talk to him about the more traditional African knives and spears. But today is Monday, November 27th, and we're thankful for Mr. Steve Katz and Kilimanjaro Creations.